We don't need 4 more years of Obama, and that's what you're getting with Hillary. That's what you're getting. No, that's what you're getting. And I believe it might be even worse, if you want to know the truth. It might be worse.
So, Mike, very interesting, Lowell, Massachusetts. We saw Trump up by 20 or 30 points in a mass poll several months ago. New York State, some of his strongest support are in upstate New York counties. You're from Massachusetts. Who are the people that were in that audience?
The people in that audience were no different than the people who go to see him, I think, in Iowa or South Carolina. Chris Christie actually alluded to it yesterday in his speech. It's people who fear for their future. We have not, as a collective entity in politics, the politicians, people running for office, have never really addressed the fear that was instilled in the American public due to the economic collapse in 2008. People lost homes. They lost a sense of their future. They lost a sense of their 401k.
And they don't feel like they got it back.
A lot of them have not gotten it back.
Yeah.
They're told repeatedly that the economy is improving.
The question that historians, if Trump wins 30 years from now, will ask is, why then, in this time of economic uncertainty, do you go to a guy worth billions and billions of dollars who starts speeches bragging about flying in on his huge 757?
Because they think that he has the confidence and the strength and the certainty that he can do something about something that they've seen no other politicians do something about in terms of their own selfish, parochial financial interests. And those are all good things. But I don't mean selfish, parochial, their own self-interest in a pejorative sense. They're good things. What about me? What about my family? What about my kids' tuition?
I wonder if, Willie, so much of this doesn't strip down to he can't be bought and sold because he doesn't take the money.
And that's the theme he's hammered since he got into the race. I'm paying for this thing myself. I don't care about politicians.
And why not do this for you?
I have no obligation to people. What's interesting, though, if you talk to people at those rallies, if you go to any of these early states and talk to them, there's an aspirational element to it, too. They like that he's a big, rich, famous guy. They look up to him. They think,
he doesn't act like one.
If he can do it for himself and he can do it for his companies, maybe he can help us along, too. I don't know if there's logic to that, but I think it's an emotional connection they feel to him.
Why attack Paul Ryan? I don't get that part. What's the advantage there?
He's the Republican establishment. It's the Republican establishment. These people feel let down, not by Paul Ryan, but they feel let down by the Republican establishment over the past 30 years.
Well, but he specifically said
I know that, but Paul Ryan's the guy in charge right now. But, you know, for 30 years, Republicans have been promising less wars. We've had more wars. For 30 years, they've been promising balanced budgets. We've had massive deficits. For 30 years, they've been promising to pay down the debt. The debt only goes higher. You know, I mean, it's.
Does this mean more if he does not get it that he'll run as a third party if he's attacking the establishment?
He's not going to run as a third party.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
I don't think he's going to run as a third party. I mean, he's so far ahead in everything. Even talk of him running as a third party candidate right now doesn't make any sense.
I mean, we just played a clip from Donald Trump. Prior to that, we played a little clip from Marco Rubio. If you're out there as a voter, who understands your anger, Marco Rubio or Donald Trump?
Well, it's not just that either. It's just that Donald Trump, again, people have known him for 30, 35 years. That's the thing that everybody's underestimated. You know, my brother read The Art of the Deal back in the 1980s, and he's loved Donald Trump ever since. I get texts from him every day. He's going to see Donald Trump. I mean, people know him. And Marco, I'm sorry, I'll say what I've said all along. In these days, Marco looks young compared to Donald Trump. Yep. I mean, politics is a story of contrast, and in these days,